Good evening, and thank you for attending tonight's event. My name is Chad Peters. I'm the parts sales manager here at Rihm Kenworth. Obviously, we'd like to be doing this in person, but that doesn't work right now in today's world. So we're trying this out. Tonight, we are joined by American Racing Products. We've always sold wheels here at Rihm, but to be honest, this is the first time we've had this much support from a vendor. They're supporting us and our customers. So we're doing this tonight to hopefully get the word out and let everybody know a little bit more detail about their product. At this time, I'll let Jerry introduce himself and get the show going.
Hello, everyone, and thanks, Chad, for the introduction into a little bit of us and how we're supporting each other. Yeah, really appreciate you putting this together and being able to meet your customers this way, and perhaps even going out and supporting them on the road here soon. My name is Jerry Rosati. I've been in the aluminum wheel and steel wheel business for 25 plus years. And I've worked for some of the companies that are our competitors today. Basically went to work for Wheel Pros, the organization that owns a bunch of brands of aluminum wheels across the nation. Some of them you'll be introduced to today and recognize. But just without further ado, I'll just go into the fact that Wheel Pros is headquartered in Denver, Colorado. We are the leading designers, manufacturers, marketers, distributors, branded aluminum wheels and accessories in the market. So we are the largest. We are larger than our competitors such as Alcoa and Accuride from an aluminum wheel standpoint. We're pleased to be here today to provide you the following. Please, next slide. So let me begin with a brief overview of Wheel Pros. I think you need to know who you're dealing with behind the scenes. That's behind the American Racing team. I'll go through the corporate overview, who we are, what we do, and I'll get into the actual American Racing ATX brand. It's been with us for about 6 years now, and we've been proud to introduce it through the market and to you. So some of the brand introductions, the product offerings, features, benefits, testing, warranties, packaging, labeling, marketing, and just overall ATX thank you at the end. So next slide, please. So some of the corporate stuff, Denver, Colorado, as mentioned earlier, we are a large company. We have $1.2 billion in sales with 700 associates across 13 offshore manufacturing sites, 2 U.S. sites, 50 distribution centers throughout the United States, U.S. and Canada, 2 in Canada, I'm sorry, and 2 in Australia, 1 centralized in Europe. Our business is automotive, ATV, power sports, and over-the-road truck wheels. 18 aluminum wheel brands, 4 tire brands. We are the leading source in wheels and accessories, #1 in aluminum wheels in the world. We deal with OEMs, fleets. We have product anywhere from golf carts, motorsports, automotive, ATV, truck and bus wheels and tires. Some of the brands you may recognize here: American Force, American Racing, ATX, Asanti, just to name a few. There's plenty more where those came from, believe me. Next slide, please. So I was there about a month, and I put this together about 2.5 years ago. And I described who I felt we were, and I think it's still prevalent to this day. We embrace the change and opportunities it brings, and we are absolutely focused on delivering customer their quality and service they deserve and need. What we do is we provide aluminum wheels and accessories along with tires and assemblies to the market. We serve by focusing on basically customers' needs and expectations. Where we are going is utilizing our current synergies, both from the from our automotive and pickup truck wheels, so from the streets, bringing all that knowledge to the highway and creating an ATX American Racing truck wheels for the long haul. is proud to be selling something new and creating something different in the market that gets people excited again. Who we are not is that typical cookie cutter wheel company, aluminum cranking wheels out. Obviously, we do have the standard wheels and we do crank those out, but we're not simply the same old look or style. So let's take a look. Next slide, please. So we come from the innovation of the American racing of 60 plus years, bringing it to the truck market in the class 7 and 8 truck wheels today. We have 60 years of experience in aluminum wheels and accessories to the market through our multi-brand solutions. We're utilizing those synergies and bringing it to the, obviously, to the truck market, as I've already mentioned. All of our wheels are tested, qualified at SAE standards, both in the lab and on the road, that meet the expectations of all OE, actually exceed the expectations of all OE customers, both on first fit, new trucks, and aftermarket. We are backed up by our product of industry-leading 5-year workmanship warranty, and our coatings are also 5 years with a 3-year on paint. We have multi-supply chains to guarantee delivery time and basically make sure that we have product to service you at any given time. Next slide, please. So with some of that said, I want to introduce you to our new catalog. It basically starts out with the Baja wheels, both the lighter weight series of the 7400 GVWs up to the 880 GVWs of both the AO200 Baja Light or the AO400 Baja Heavy Duty. Those wheels you can see behind me stationed here, quite a bit of shine on them, as we'll see in later slides, and a great box to back it up. So as we get into that, I'll be going traipsing back there, and let's take a back look at some of the slides again. So starting with all the products, the 22.5 and 24.5, both in the 8.25s, the 14-inch, the 9.0s, and the 12.25-inch wheels. They come in a diamond cut machine finish. It's our base standard wheel is our diamond cut. We physically diamond cut machine the wheel to a nice surface prior to polishing it. So we're actually offering it to you before we polish it. From there, we have a high pressure water polish that's second to none. We're able to exceed the market standards above Alcoa and Accuride Shine on their best level of polish with our standard polish. The next item you'll recognize is somewhat of a coating over the top, much like the Accu Shield or the Dura Bright wheels. We have AR Guard, which I'll be introducing to you today. So here's our standard offering, their finishes and their coatings that are supportive of your market. These are the 22.5 by 8.25 is probably 80% of the wheels that are sold in the market today on heavy duty trucks. So I think we can all acknowledge that. The second tier would probably be the 24.5-inch by 8.25, and then you have your steer and lift axle wheels as the 12.25 steer and the 9.0s, and then obviously your super single 14-inch wheels. So we'll get into some of that in just a moment. As an American Racing, you can imagine we just didn't stop there. We went to the next level with this thing, and we created what we call the Journey Wheel. This Journey Wheel is basically our Baja wheel blacked out. And this Journey Wheel comes in both a gloss and a satin. It's milled in the handholds and around the surface of the rim to create a disparity between a black tire and a black wheel. So it sets some disparity between them. So it's a little bit offset, highlights the luster of the handholds and the rim while still accepting a baseline entry level blacked out wheel. This wheel is superior to the Dura Black wheel. As a matter of fact, the reason why Alcoa came out with this wheel in black was because of us. They're following us for once. And I think that's important to note in the market as we are starting to become leaders in this market and taking over. So as we go through this, you'll find some of the same part levels or sizes are available in this journey wheel. So you could definitely find this wheel probably be about $150 to $100 cheaper than the Durablack wheel. Next, we get into something even more unique. And we start getting into more stylized wheels, where we get into this octane of A0401 or the Indy A0402, or let's even go to further the roulettes, the A0403s, and obviously the last but not least, the Treks at the A0405. Now, all these wheels are different sizes and shapes, and obviously different, where you see different designs. This is the rear. This would be the rear Trex wheel, and simply it has 4 holes drilled and tapped in it that accept this bolt-on cap. I'll get a little bit closer to show everybody, but this is the American Racing bolt-on cap. This cap has a few dummy holes in it, but it actually has some through holes in it. With a set screw, it actually gets bolted onto the wheel, whether it's the front here or the rear here, where this cap will not come off, nor could it be stolen very easily. So that's a unique proposition to our market that sets us above the rest as well. Now, I'm not, kind of forsake that we do have the actual snap-on caps as well that go on any standard 10 by 285 bolt circle that can be used to just simply snap on to the bolt circle to create a unique look on your existing truck lines without having to spend a lot of money to create something different for your customers. This is obviously the front steer in black, but obviously it comes in chrome. And this obviously isn't a rear, but if I put it on, this will actually fit this wheel as well. Even though it's a stylized wheel and has that bolt circle, it'll actually look pretty unique when you put it on as a chrome cap with this blackout solution. Really fancy. I believe I've covered the wheels and the caps so far. So let's move back to the presentation. And this is where we left off at the caps. These caps are obviously the bolt-on up top, the snap-ons in the bottom are in the midsection, and then the bottom are the lug covers that go with the bolt-on caps. You can see there's spike options, there's flat cap options, there's the gloss black, there's a flat or satin black, and then there's the chrome. Next slide, please. So I wanted to show you, basically recap the standard product line. On the left-hand side, you'll see the inner and outer wheels. Our wheels are polished on both sides. No reason to buy an inside or outside polished wheel when you could just buy one wheel and it's polished on the inside and outside. You could add the caps to it. You can see it in the wheel position. That wheel on the top right is actually our machine finish. That's why it doesn't look as bright, but it's definitely a machine finish. And then some of the product staged for delivery down at the bottom. The next slide, though, highlights our stylized product line, both on vehicles and just loose, where you could see all the mix and match cap designs and lug covers and bolt-ons and snap-ons and the different colors that go along with it. These are all the product lines that would support the stylized wheel market. But we didn't just stop there. Some of the wheels I've showed you already, whether it's the standard or the stylized here. The next slide actually highlights going to even another level where we actually customize the wheel. We could match a cab, or we could just get close to it with the red paints that we have. But you could see, you could take any of our wheels and it's an anodized coating on top of this that basically puts the coating on a raw aluminum wheel. And so everywhere you see a chrome surface or the bare aluminum surface, that coating only is shown in those areas. The whole wheel or the whole cap is painted with that accent color, but yet it only shows up where the aluminum is still raw. So it's a unique process that creates this different look. So we call this our customized product. It's definitely the next level up in customizing a semi-truck. Next slide, please. So here's some of the Kenworth vehicles with our standard aluminum on the upper right, and then some of the other designs that we've come up with, whether it's blacked out or colorized in green. So we can really do some unique stuff with your customers and your wheels. Next slide, please. So getting to the features and benefits, obviously they're aluminum, so they're lightweight, construction and corrosion resistance, and improve the fuel of any vehicle. It's also available, obviously, in the positions, for all positions in the Class 7 and 8 model lines. I'll recap with us, Wheel Pros being the designer manufacturer. We test these wheels to 3 times those SAE standards by third-party outside laboratories and durability for off-road testing to ensure the service life of your vehicle wheels for long haul. We have the strongest individual box wheel with specific corner guards and protectors and rim guards that wrap around to exceed the OEM shake and drop test. So we go one step further. If you're buying wheels today, you'll definitely see the difference in our box. It's twice as thick, and it definitely has a lot of protection in there. And I'm going to open up this box in a moment and show you just what it's made up of. Moving on, though, the standard high luster polish being the brightest wheel in the industry, what I mean by that is our gloss levels significantly exceed our competitors' best level polish as our standard. So whether you're talking the Alcoa 1, 2, 3, or their standard polish 7 and 8, or you're talking the Accuride SP or XP, our wheel from America Racing is 40% brighter than their XP or their 1, 2, 3s. What that creates for you in the market is one wheel that has the brightest finish. So no more inventory of SP, XP, 1, 2, 3. One wheel will fit all that economical solution. And being that it's 40% brighter, it has the lowest maintenance finish with no machine lines. What it really comes down to is, an example that I often use is when you wash your car, then you wax it. It's a lot easier to clean because it's brighter and shinier the next time you go around to wash it, right? This is very similar, but not exact. If a wheel is 40% brighter, it'll easily be cleaned with a lot of low maintenance and not a lot of elbow grease to get back to where you started from. This means a lot for your customers because they could spend more time driving their truck than cleaning their truck. If we're 40% brighter, it'll retain that shine. Obviously, aluminum doesn't rust, it oxidates. And when it oxidates, it just creates a layer of coating. If it's not that bright, it'll get down in the nooks and crannies of machine lines and unbright, sightly wheels. It'll get down in there. It's a lot harder to clean in those microscopic grooves than it is if it's bright to begin with. So that's why it's easier. So you got that low maintenance finish and no machine lines. Obviously, I've talked about this just a moment ago. It definitely reduces your inventory. There's no need to carry 2 to 3 different polish levels of the same darn wheel. So an 8 1/4, they have the SP and XP. They have the 8 1/4, 1, 2, 3s. There's no need for that anymore. You got the brightest wheel on the market right here. That wheel obviously comes with that no hassle 5-year warranty. And what I mean by no hassle is we won't wait weeks or months to tell you whether or not we warranty it. If you got a bad wheel out there, you think you got a bad wheel, or if someone created a bad wheel out there by hitting a curb, we warranty it and we provide you that service, and then we investigate later. So it's more important to get your customer satisfied and get on the road than it is for us to debate on whether or not we'll service it. We are certified to ISO and TS, and all our programs are supportive of your market. Next slide, please. So you're probably wondering what's the main difference between American Racing Wheels and our competitors like Accuride and Alcoa. Some of the main differences on the Accuride wheels is they mill their handholds perpendicularly to the surface of the wheel, and they have to coin in the coining operation. If you point up to the left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a round handhole, but you'll see roll over in that handhole. What's that caused by is that coining operation that they have to use to strengthen their handholds so it doesn't create indications or cracks while you're driving down the road. It's a very important process in the Accuride design that they do this, but it creates that unsightly rollover. And not to mention the fact that they're less glossy and quite a few machine lines. I challenge anybody to ask for a wheel and compare it to an Alcoa or Accuride wheel from both a gloss and non-machine line look comparatively to both their opposite. American Racing wheels are more designed like a Alcoa type wheel, or vice versa. They're more designed like our wheel. We have straight milled on, and we deburr the edges. The difference between us and Alcoa is basically that polish and less machine lines and more desirable appearance, and then leading to the fact that it's low maintenance. Next slide, please. So I didn't want you to take my word for it. I've actually done a 30-piece capability study across American Racing wheels, Alcoa wheels, and Accuride wheels to show the different finishes. Our finish codes are 500 series, 100 series, and 800 series on the left-hand side of this page. That stands for diamond cut machine, standard high luster polish both sides, and enhanced high luster polish with protective coating AR guard, which I'll get into details in just a moment. So I concentrate on the 100 series, our high standard luster polish, which is 40% brighter than our competitors. I look at the Alcoa Clean and Buff, the 7 and 8 series finish codes, and they're 1,000 gloss units, while their 1, 2, 3 inside, outside, both sides polish are 1,400 gloss units, while our wheel standard, one wheel, clobbers them all at 1,700 gloss units. Moving on to Accuride, they have their SP, XP, AOP, and AIP. Their SP is 700 gloss units. Again, ours is 1,000 gloss units brighter than that SP. Their XP, AOP, AIP is 1,000 gloss units. Ours is 1,700. Again, 700 gloss units greater. So this is how I could say what I'm saying about our different finishes in comparison to our competitors. These competitor slides are verifiable. We basically put a lot of effort into our wheels, and it shows through our gloss levels. Gloss levels are basically measured by a reflectivity monitor. It reflects the surface of the wheel, and what bounces back is how bright it is. When you have a lot of machine lines, that feedback gets distorted and shows less brightness. It might appear a little bit brighter to the naked eye, but when you get down into those nooks and crannies where all that oxidation is created and it's hard to clean up, that's where it makes its importance. There's further information on this about oxidation and weathering, and if you share this with them, Chad, I'm sure they'll be able to see it. Next slide, please. Next is our AR guard. It is a protective coating over the polished surface. American Racing obviously has had wheels on cars and trucks for past 60 plus years. Every aluminum wheel on your car or truck today is coated, whether you know it or not. Obviously, you don't have to polish an aluminum wheel on a car or pickup truck. It's because they are coated. But we've taken that same technology and we provided it as an AR guard protective treatment that actually penetrates into the alloy of the aluminum wheel surface and treats it and protects it from outside contaminants. It will not oxidate. It is actually a coating that prevents any oxidation on the surface of that wheel. My testing is by third-party verification of corrosion testing called CASS solution. It's an accelerated acid salt spray test and copper accelerate salt spray test that once you scribe the wheel, much like a ding or a nick from a stone chip may hit the wheel. What's important is that filiform growth, once it's nicked or chipped like that X on that page, after testing, it doesn't grow any further. As shown below, my competitor's wheel shows a lot of growth, a lot further after testing at the same test booth at the same time. You can barely see the scribe mark over the rest of the contamination on the surface of that wheel after their protected coating, like the AccuShield and the Durabrake. So next slide, please. So here are some examples of our durability approval testing. These are done by both our inside, our test lab, and at the third parties. We first verify it before we send it off to third party by testing it on our own. We use the same test methods, 3 times the SAE standards to test our wheels. If they match up, we sign off on it and release the wheels to the market. So you're guaranteed our wheels to be good for the long haul. Next slide, please. So here we come to the packaging and labeling section. All of our wheels come off the line. You can see that meter right there in orange in the top center. That is a gloss unit meter that's measuring the gloss units before a wheel gets stacked and packed. So as I get into that stack and pack, you can see some of the pictures here represent what I'm about to show you. First off, the box is very thick. It's a good 1/4 inch thick. It's wrapped with these side guards that are automatically placed by another protectant both on the sides of the rim as you unleash it. So, and it comes with the foam. And then here's those corner guards I was talking about. This wheel is really not moving in this box. And it's very protected from the face of the wheel as well. And then you can see this installation guide with a warranty packet, some stickers for your kids, all in this section of it. And then there's actually another layer here of plastic that goes strictly completely around the wheel, and not to mention another layer beyond that to protect the surface of this wheel. And that's why it looks as shiny as it does when it comes out of the box when you buy it. Okay, going back to
pretty short on time, so.
Okay, I'm just about to wrap it up. So that completes the box section. Next slide, please. And that's just a quick blurb about our warranty. Already spoke about that, the 5 years. in the 3 years. Next slide, please. That pretty much wraps it up, Chad. So thanks for your time, everybody, and I appreciate you being able to support us. Any questions?
So at this time, yeah, if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and unmute yourself. You can ask them. We'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. I did have one question while you guys are doing that come in via email. Question was, do you have 17.5 or 19.5 HD wheels? And does Rihm have access to light truck vehicle wheels?
Yeah, I would have to look into the 17-inch wheels only because we are launching the medium duty and the heavy duty wheels. Being, Wheel Pros and having all those brands, I'm sure we do have a 17-inch for heavy duty. I know I'm working on the medium duty market to release early next year, but we have a huge line of products. So I would advise going to wheelpros.com, and the first thing that'll come up is a configurator. In that configurator, it asks the make, model, and year of your vehicle. From there, once you click it, it'll come up with every wheel in our arsenal that would possibly fit any of your cars or trucks in the industry. And yes, to answer your other question, all of our wheels are available through Rihm, whether it's the online catalog, which I just spoke of, or obviously these ATX wheels and caps behind me.
Couple more questions quick. Where are American Racing wheels made?
Well, being a global company and being as large as we are, we make wheels all over the globe. And our wheels are made in China, India, US, Taiwan, just to name a few. So in reality, our wheels could come from any location which we manufacture our wheels. So we also have those multi-stage locations to protect us from other locations. So you could always be guaranteed that we will have wheels in stock. These particular wheels are slated to be made in the US, but currently they're made offshore.
Question on the finish. On the AR guard, will that stand up to the chloride that's spread on the roads nowadays? And without the AR guard, how does it stand up?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it because I skipped over a little bit of my presentation. We actually have our wheels coated like you see back here, and our painted wheels on my right on Vail, Colorado salt spray trucks with mag chloride in use for the last 6 years. And recently they bought another set for their new truck that they just purchased because they like them so much. Our wheels will withstand the mag chloride and the salt spray of plow trucks, and throughout its lifetime.
Perfect. I see a couple more. We are getting low on time, so I'm going to conclude. But what I'll do is I'll reach out to the people that ask these questions, and I'll get them answered by email. So once again, I want to thank everybody for attending. Please watch for more of our Rihm virtual events. We're going to be having more of these, hopefully more consistently. And for all the people that attended tonight, watch for an email. We'll be sending out a special offer for just the people that attended. So once again, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and everybody have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone.